Hi everyone, it's Agnes and I have Martina with me. Hi Martina.
Hi. Hi, everyone.
Well, we have got some hot stuff for you today. Martina and I have just had a little chat behind the scenes and some really good stuff's come out of it. So Martina is here to talk about relationships and different things that she and I have discussed. So I'm going to hand it over to you, Martina, because you've got it all written down and there's some really good nuggets in there. So go ahead.
Hello, everyone. This is my part two. If you've seen my part one last year, I had just, I think a month from then, I had attracted my SP back. Since then, yes, I'm in a relationship with him. We've been together officially for like a year, but we've known each other for 23 years. Can I say we've been together off and on? Well, kind of off and on for 2-3 years, but really solid for this past last year after when I worked on my self-love, worked on me as being the best version of myself, and me just, keep doing what I have to do. So I'll have a lot of stuff to talk about.
Excellent.
So the first thing I want to talk about is like the ups and downs, like after when you attract your SP. When I attracted my SP back, we only saw each other like once a month. And this went on for like, I would say 6 months. So I just want everyone to know that once you attract the person back, it's not all roses and rainbows and unicorns. You have to keep working on yourself. You have to keep working on, okay, I'm not going to revert back to my old self. So yeah, when I first started contacting him, well, we started, interacting with each other. We would speak, but we would only text. The time that he started really calling me on the phone and stuff was in October. So from February, when I, attracted him, October is when we started talking on the phone, like he would call me. He's a busy person, so we really didn't go out that much. Like we would probably go out probably twice in a month. Actually that April, my cat fell ill and he was there for me. I didn't know if I should contact him or whatever, because this was when, it was like a touch and go, like I call it the little bee communication dance. Like if anybody's familiar with how bees communicate, like one shakes and then the other one shakes, and that's what, you would have to do. So he was there for me with that. I still had to be patient. You have to be patient. If you want a relationship with your SP, it's not going to be the same relationship. You don't want it to be the same relationship as before, because if it is, it's not going to work out. So even though you might have gone with each other for years or whatever it is, you don't want that to continue. You want to start fresh. So I had to be patient in us going out on dates, because he wasn't asking me out on dates. So what I had to do was, okay, not focus on him not taking me out or anything. I did a focus wheel. So like in your YouTube where you said, oh, to focus, don't focus on what you don't have, focus on what you want. So I made a focus wheel. I think it was like 8 slices in there. And I said, oh, isn't it wonderful how he asked me out on dates? Isn't it wonderful how, we go places and stuff like that? And I also did one on communication. So eventually all of that stuff comes into fruition, and we didn't really see each other too much. Now he's here every day and I get tired of him. So, so I feel like we're like an old married couple. So, but that's kind of like the downs, like, oh, you have to, well, you have to be patient. Like, it's not going to be like, oh my God, we're going to be together every day. You don't want anything to like, happen that quick, because like you said, Agnes, like you don't want the fruit before it's ripe. So you have to be able to like work with the person. Like he was always busy. Like he would come over, but he wouldn't spend the night like he did like 2 years ago. So I was like, okay, I know we have to work up to that. So I respected the fact that, and I was grateful that he came over. If it was just an hour or 2 hours and he had to go do his work, you have to respect your SP. If you don't respect them,
yeah,
they're going to see that, and you have to make sure that they can get, they have a choice to come over or do whatever. Because it was one time where, I was just meeting him at the movie theater and we went our own ways. Like whatever the situation was, I was willing to, just accommodate that. Like, I'm not saying, oh, if your SP is treating you bad, like to accommodate that. No, like I accommodated the fact that he was busy. I was willing to meet him at the movie theater. We, just hang out or whenever he's ready. He didn't start spending the night over my place until like probably October, November. So it's like 7 to 8 months where things have to like grow, because you want stuff to grow slowly and then build. Like, I just wanted to say that, you don't want things to rush once your SP comes back, because it's not going to work out, so you're going to be frustrated. I was frustrated because I wanted him to come with us to this theme park in Pennsylvania, and he couldn't make it. So I was like, okay. And then he was supposed to meet us in June at a carnival, which was like 15 minutes away from us. He couldn't make it. And then like my sisters would be like, oh, where is he? And I was like, oh, he's busy. So I had to say, okay, I know he's busy, he's doing this or whatever. I had to like just respect that he works. Yep. Give him the choice if he wanted to show up or not, but not stand me up. But at least he told me.
Yeah.
So, that's what I wanted to say about the ups and downs. So the do's and don'ts when you have your SP.
Yep.
Don't keep pressuring him to do something that he doesn't want to do. Don't disrespect him. Don't take away his choices.
Yeah.
What else? Don't over contact. Like right now, we're at the stage where me and my SPR, I really don't over contact him. Like I could just contact him or whatever. It doesn't matter. But once you're at the beginning stages, like you don't want to come off as being desperate or irritate him or her. And what else? Don't be impatient. You have to be patient. Don't expect your SP to say, oh, let's get married, let's do this and that. You don't want them to say that in the beginning when you guys get back together, because that's not, that's being desperate. What else? What else? Don't stalk him on Instagram, Facebook, or any social media, because you don't want to come off as being, oh my God, I have him back. I want to make sure no other girls are talking to him or anything.
Yeah.
Like don't social media stalk him, because I really don't be on social media or anything. So, to me, that's a fake world. So just leave social media out. Oh, and then also, if you are going to post on social media, make sure it's okay with him.
Yeah.
People have stalkers. And I spoke to Agnes about something prior that happened to me, like behind the scenes. I'm not going to get into it, but people have stalkers, and sometimes, you don't want your SP to feel uncomfortable because, you tag them in something, ask them first, like, because everybody wants people to see like, oh, they're in a relationship with somebody, they're happy and stuff like that. But you got to question yourself. Why am I doing that?
Yep.
Am I doing that to show off to one of the exes, or show off to his ex or my ex, or just to show people, hey, I have somebody, I'm happy?
Yep.
If you're solid in your self-love, then you don't need to show anything.
Exactly.
Protect yourself, your SP, and your relationship at all costs, because now I would say I'm on level 5. So when you're with somebody, like the whole maintaining the relationship stuff, you have to really, because I use your meditations for maintaining a healthy relationship and like anything like that. Yeah. Like whatever I could do, you have to do it.
Yeah.
And you also have to take into consideration, now you have somebody else with you. You have another whole other being. And you guys aren't going to have like happy days. You're going to have sad days. You're going to have disagreements.
Yeah.
And with me, me and my SP had disagreed about something, and I didn't answer his phone call, and he was kind of sick. So he called my sister, and then my sister called me, and she was like, oh, He wants to know, like, he wanted me to see if you were okay because you're not answering, because he said you guys had a disagreement. I don't know what I got mad at him for, but then, you know, me and him had a serious talk because he has gone through a lot when he was younger. So if I don't answer him and, you know, he needs me, then he's going to feel abandoned. So you also have to not only, you know, support yourself, but support, you know, your
Yeah.
And then, like, just know, okay, like, because he never told me this stuff when we were in high school. So it's like every day we get to know each other, and we're going to keep knowing each other until, you know, we leave this world. So that's another thing, because that's how you grow in relationships. You know certain things, like some of the food he eats is gross. That got on my nerves. Like, you're gonna be irritated by some people, you know, sometimes like that, you know, like, I don't know. It's like, and then, like, you guys can do like certain things together. Like, we started going to the gym together in December. Like, we joined the same gym company. I haven't been to the gym in like 2 weeks, but anyway. So like, when you do little things with each other, it makes you grow closer. And also a big step that me and him made, we went on our first trip. That's another test. So you're basically like, once you move on through the relationship, you're going to go through tests, trials, tribulations. What else? But you have to be that solid to like push through it. What else did I want to say? I think I said, did I say respect your SP?
Yeah, you did.
Oh yeah. And then another thing, you have to know that your SP has his own life and you have your own life. So, you know, your SP, like yesterday, me and him were together, and then he went out with his stepfather to the movies and stuff. So you want to have your own separate lives. Like, I don't want him up under me like every time, and then I have to be nice and say, I'm going to go somewhere. You can go if you need to do something else.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want people to just be under your behind. Like, have your separate life. Like, when you're clingy to someone like that, it shows that you're insecure and you don't trust them to go out and do. I've always said, I told my SP, I said, I don't put you on a pedestal. So, and then he thought I was coming off as being, you know, negative. I'm like, no, you shouldn't put me on a pedestal. I shouldn't put you on a pedestal, because first of all, we were created by God to do whatever we need to do. And like, if I do something wrong to you or you do something wrong to me, you know, call me out for it. Don't say, oh, because I love you and this and that. Like, call me out for my crap. Like, don't put me on a pedestal where if I'm mistreating you, you gotta like be a puppy and like keep up with the abuse. That's what a lot of people do. And I said, look, I don't put you on a pedestal, and whatever you do, if it's wrong against me, just know that we live in an energetic world and that comes back. So, you know, I didn't get to that point where me and him talk like that until like months later, because it's still like the little bee dance. I don't want to scare nobody off. So, you know, like, we talk, and and then another thing is, like, you don't want to talk about why you guys split up in the first place. That comes after. I didn't mention anything to my SP until like, probably we had that talk probably 5 months later, because that's when he apologized for like the way he was acting and stuff like that. And then I apologized too, because you know, sometimes it still comes up, because he said, you know, how he's been treated in the past and he wants to make sure, you know, even though we know each other and stuff like that. And then sometimes I felt like it came to a point where he was doubting me. And, you know, we spoke about that. And, you know, communication is key. You have to communicate, even if you're mad that, you know, he ate my whole freaking peanuts. And I was like, what was it? Was it honey roasted? No, it was butternut peanuts I ordered from nuts.com. And I said, why did you eat the rest of it? Like, it was like a small orange bag. They don't fill it up. I'm like, I wanted to eat the rest of that, because he's a health freak. I'm like, I wanted to eat some. He was like, well, I ate the rest of it. So I'm like, I'm like, even if it's like eating peanuts or whatever,
Yeah.
to leave.
That's so funny. You know why I'm laughing is because my partner he said, you got to go and get the honey roasted peanuts. He said, get them from this place down the road. Anyway, he couldn't find them. I went down and I found 2 bags, and he's got the same obsession as with the honey roasted peanuts. And it's like every night, like,
Yeah, like a little mouse.
Yeah, like a little mouse. As soon as like the sun goes down, it gets dark, you put the TV on, all of a sudden it's like, oh, where are the honey roasted peanuts?
Yeah, because I'm like, I don't know. It's like, and then another thing is we're all still human. So we're all going to have like moments where we don't feel bothered or we feel kind of irritated. Like I get in my mood sometimes.
Yep.
And then I know the big thing with him is he wants me to just like tell him like whatever's going on. Cause it was, I think recently the other night, like, I think I fell asleep when he came over, and I guess he was kind of upset because I don't know what I ate. I think I ate ice cream, and I didn't tell him that, I wasn't feeling well, so we were just quiet for the rest of the night. And then when he left the next morning, like I kept asking him, are you okay? He was like, oh yeah, I'm fine. And then when we text each other, that's when he tells me. I'm like, well, you should have said, I knew something was wrong with you. I hope, I wish you would have told me. I didn't know.
Yeah.
So communication is like big.
Yep.
It's very, very big. It could be like, oh, I don't like that your shoes or whatever it is, but communication is big because I do get in my moods and I'm just like, whatever.
Yeah.
But and then another thing I want to bring up, your SP has his own likes and dislikes.
Yeah.
Meaning whatever criteria, like say you didn't meet your SP like when they were younger or whatever, and you don't know what type of person that they like the characteristics. So say if you don't have any, say like you are like a real nasty person and he don't like nasty people, he has a right to like what he likes and he has a right to not like, anything. So if you don't fit that criteria, then, either change, well, if you're a nasty person, you should change yourself anyway. But if you don't fit any of the criteria, I'm not saying to change yourself for that person, but just know that your SP has, likes or dislikes, whether it's your character, whether it's anything,
Animals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Movies, sports, like it goes on and on. Yeah.
Yeah. So like my SP, he told me I'm not going to become a crazy cat lady. So he said, once we live together, I'm only allowed to have 1 cat. I said, well, first of all, we're not going to jump that far into the future because Charlie is still here.
Yeah.
I don't want to think about getting another cat. But I said, if I find a kitten that needs a home, he's coming with me.
Yeah.
So I could do 2.
Yeah.
And like sometimes I tease him and I say, oh, well, 5 is a good number. He's like, no, it's not. I'm going to get rid of them. And I said, no, you're not going to get rid of my cats. And I said, this is what God called me to do, to like love people and stuff. And then he, because I'm a vegetarian, and he offers me meat, and I just get mad at him. I'm like, I don't eat that. If I eat that, I'm getting sick. And then if I throw up right on you, So it's like we've gotten to a point where we can like tease each other. In the beginning, we didn't do that because everything is like
so serious. Yeah.
So then, like we tell each other, shut up, or tell him get out, and stuff like that, like an old married couple, And then like another thing is I didn't mention anything about marriage or babies because I know like he had to see, okay, is this right? Is she with me for the right reasons? Even though we've been friends for over 23 years.
Yeah.
Your SP has to see, and he will put you through a few tests. That's how I know that our trip we just went on was a test. He had to see how we're together when we're on a trip.
Yeah.
So that's another big thing you have to cross too. Like I think they said when you first go on a trip with your partner, it could be like 3 to 4 days, and ours was about that.
Yeah.
So we had fun and stuff like that. So I've never been on a cruise, never been to any island.
Lovely.
It's good that I shared my first experience with him,
Yeah. No, that's lovely.
Yeah, and he was like, and we argue about like what kids we're going to have. Like, I want girls and he wants boys. And I'm like, well, I've already bought like girl clothes.
Yeah.
It's like the whole like, oh, if you want something, like you could attract it to them. I'm like, well, I don't want any boys. They're hard to potty train. I'm used to girls because of my nieces.
Yeah.
I don't know. But then he's like, we're having 2 boys. I'm like, well, no, we're not. Just argue about silly stuff.
Yeah. Bit of banter and fun.
Yeah. And then like he's talking about marriage to me.
Yeah.
He brought it up first. I didn't bring it. Like, some people think that when they have their SP come back, they could say, well, I want this, I want that, and this and this. And then it was like somebody had said something about their SP, but they were angry about them. I'm like, you're not going to attract that SP back if you're still angry with them.
Yeah.
They kept saying, how dare he, how this and this and that. I'm like, he's not coming back. And I'm like, you're going on social media and then like you're just questioning everything, making yourself go crazy. To me, it's not that serious. See, everyone's a person, nobody's better than the other. Stop putting these people on pedestals.
Yeah.
My SP, if he liked the girls that he liked and I didn't match up to what he wanted, then I would have had to, just say, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not going to force him to be with you. Just like how some people think that, oh, I want you, so I'm going to have you.
Yes.
If you have bad intentions, if the intentions are ill-willed, how are you going to attract that person? And it's like, that goes back to like your SP having rights. He has the right to exist. God created him for a reason. He doesn't exist to be with you. So it's like you have to have some sort of decency. And then come down to marriage. I know a lot of people like got married.
Yeah.
I don't mess with marriage at all. And it's not because of what it says in the Bible or whatever. It's because of the moral decency. You do not mess with that. You don't say, oh, well, I want him because of whatever and he's married. You cannot do that. And then like with celebrities, like all these young guys that are getting married, like Justin Bieber, who else got married? Nick Jonas and all these other guys get married.
Yeah.
And you can't say, well, I want him and he's married, I'm going to get divorced. You can't look at that. You cannot put that negative energy out. You should be respectful and have some decency, and it's like, it's ill intentions. Like, ill intentions don't manifest anything. It'll manifest something against you. So I'm like,
no, it's a good subject, Martina, because it does come up a lot.
Yeah.
I get a lot of emails and a lot of, it is a big topic where you want someone and they go off and get married to someone else. And then what do you do? And it's like, well, you got to, you can't, look, we all know imagination creates reality, and the law of attraction says you can have whatever you want. But I do think you got to think it through, as in, what is it about me that I'm attracted to someone who's unavailable now? And look at that within yourself. If you want to continue, totally up to you. You do what you want, but you do need to look at, why is it that I'm attracted to someone who is no longer, or he might have just got married, or he might have been married for 10 years. You got to look at within yourself, what is it in me that I'm attracted to this? Why? And try and dissolve it and dismantle it, so that you are able to get your needs met. Yeah.
And a personal story, I used to well, I don't talk to him that much, but in college I met a nice guy and we were friends and stuff like that. He always liked me when he had like a girlfriend, and I didn't know about LOA or anything like that, but we would keep in contact or whatever. And then, but he never wanted to go with me. So I just said, okay, like after 3 years of liking him, I was like, okay, well, if he doesn't like me, then maybe I don't match what he wants. And
Yeah.
he likes girls with big butts and hips. I don't have that. So,
Yeah.
you know, and he got married in 2011. And I'm like, well, you could have told me that you got married. I'm like, I don't like you like that. I said, that was in college, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, you know, I'm
Yeah.
just like, you know, he got married to somebody else. And I thank God that I didn't want him when he got married to the other person. And the other person fit what he wants. Very beautiful.
Yeah.
She's, I guess, well, from the picture I saw, she has a big butt, but you know, that's what he likes. And she's
That's what he likes. Yeah.
yeah, I don't have a big butt. Sorry, you know, because he
Yeah.
always thought that I was like too skinny for him anyway, which I don't think I'm that skinny, but
Yeah.
it's preference. That's another thing. If your SP has a preference, how vain it is or whatever, and you don't fit that, don't try to fit that. You know, be yourself.
Be
And
you.
maybe, you know, your SP, there's a lot of people that don't care how, you know, somebody looks. And it really matters to a lot of people how someone
Yeah.
looks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, like
Some
how,
people are very
yeah, like,
fixated on the physical, and other people it's more the character traits
mm-hmm.
and the just how someone is with other people. Are they giving? Are they good to old people? Are they good to animals? Are they, you know, they like more those kind of qualities.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, and like some people like older women, you know,
Yeah.
like these young celebrity boys that just got married. They
Yeah.
like women that are 10 years older, and if you don't fit that and that's something important to them,
Yeah.
don't use LOA to try to attract them. And you know damn well you're not that, you know. So unless the person, like, people think that, oh, you know, I could use LOA to change somebody. No, you know, that's disrespectful, and that you don't love the person if you're doing that. You're doing that out of infatuation, first of all. That
Yeah.
is not love. You're doing that out of neediness. You're doing that out of, like, I guess, lack of self-respect, lack of respect for the other person. You know, you really need to look at yourself, because
Yeah.
I even went through my whole thing with why do I want my SP back? Is
Yeah.
it because I hate his last girlfriend, you know, and I'm trying to make her, I had to go through all the tough questions.
Yeah.
And it's like, every day we tell each other that we love each other. Every day we fall in love with each other. He tells me that. And then, like, one time he asked me, oh, are you in love with me? I said, yeah. He was like, you better. I'm like, what? Like, this is the arguments we go back and forth.
Yeah.
You know, stuff like that. And then,
Yeah.
you know, you just have to, like, have decency. Like, you can't say, oh, well, I want this person or I want that. That's just like, if somebody has a house that I've always wanted, I can't ring up to their doorbell and say, I want your house, get the hell out. You know,
Yeah.
you have to have that decency. If they're selling the house, then I can have it.
Yeah.
So it's just that I sometimes I cringe sometimes when people say, oh, you can demand somebody to do this or that. Nobody's your puppet.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can influence somebody, like, oh, you know, be a great person. And then they'll be like, oh, you know, this type of person, but now I see I want something else. That can happen, but you can't use LOA as like a spell, because I've seen people use spells.
Yeah. And that's about trying to control.
I don't control. Like I told my SP, you could do whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'm not saying, oh, go out and cheat on me or be deceptive or anything, because I said I have a crazy family. You know? So it's like,
yeah.
you know, I'm just telling him, like, if he says, like yesterday, he asked me, do you want me to come over? I said, oh, you know, it's up to you. I know you had a long day. He still came over.
Yeah. But you gave him the choice.
Like,
you thought about him.
Mm-hmm.
How's he feeling? He doesn't have to come over here just for me. What do you need? If you want to come, come. If you don't, it's totally okay with me.
Yeah. And then
that's love.
Yeah. And then, like, sometimes, like, one time I was joking with him. I said, oh, I don't care if you don't come back, because I'm going to have my own party by myself. So he was like, whatever.
Yeah.
So, you know, like, you do need that time to yourself. Like,
you do.
There's been some days where he hasn't come over, but we still stayed in contact or whatever.
Yeah.
But the only thing we tell each other is that, well, we tell each other we love each other every day. We also say that whatever's on our minds, because he was getting kind of flustered with me, because, like, with me, ever since I was younger, like, if something was bothering me, I wouldn't say anything because I wouldn't want to hurt the person's feelings.
Yeah.
I still have to work on myself and break out of that, So I'm still doing that because sometimes I said, I don't want to bring up like that issue I was telling you about before we
Yeah.
recorded. I brought that up to him like twice just so
Yeah.
that I can make sure and I could feel better and, just talk
Yeah.
about anything, even if it's like, oh, I don't like the food you made, just, and then there was one time when I was starving. He was like, oh, I'll cook for you. And I didn't eat all day. I came home and I was like, oh, he's going to cook. He gave me cashews and a salad. I said, he was like, oh, well, you didn't tell me what you want to eat. I'm like, not salad and cashews.
Yeah. Not the honey roasted ones either.
Yeah, I'm like, you're going to give me peanuts and salad. I didn't eat since breakfast. I only had a special K-bar.
Yeah. I needed food.
Yeah, and then that same day, I had used the gym at my job for like an hour, and then I'm starving, thinking, okay, I'm going to save my appetite for him. No, cashews, salad.
Oh, he'll never do that again.
Yeah. And I was like, I can't eat like that. I'm like, you said you were going to cook, and then he was like, well, you didn't tell me. I'm like, you know what I eat? I'm a vegetarian. It's either veggie burgers or salad or whatever, not that and peanuts.
Just that and peanuts. Oh, that's hilarious.
So I'm like, you're not going to cook it.
But you have that conversation once, the person doesn't forget it, and they go, uh-oh, okay, I can't do that this time. I better make something else.
Yeah, and it's like how I said, we're like an old married couple. So, and then he joked and he was saying how the trip we went on set him back a few dollars because he wants to buy me a ring. I said, well, before you even propose, you have to talk to my parents, because I don't know if that's customary with everybody. I'm not sure, but that's what I've always seen.
Lovely. It's lovely. Why not?
Yeah, so I told my mom, because my mom was asking, oh, are y'all going to get married and stuff? And I said, well, before he even says anything, he has to talk to you guys. And my mother's like, what the hell? He needs to talk to me because I'm not the one marrying him. You are. I'm like, well, isn't it? Well, he has to talk to my father because he has to, ask my father. I am my father's daughter,
Yeah.
So, I don't know I don't know. That's what I saw.
Yeah. And that's what you think is a good idea and you want to do that. It's respect, another level of respect.
Mm-hmm. So, and I'm just like, I don't know. It's been like a whirlwind. There's some days where I do get scared. There's some days where you do question.
Yeah.
It's not all happy days and stuff like that there.
You know what I like though, Martina?
Mm-hmm.
And this is why I think that you have been successful from watching you for quite a long time, is you've gone extremely slowly.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody goes too fast.
Yeah, turtle wins the race.
Turtle wins the race. And I think you get to know someone better. You get to, like you say, you don't bring up the why did we break up the first week. You kind of get back together.
Mm-hmm.
You build good connection once a month. Then after 6 months, then it's more often. Then you start talking about, sharing weekends. Then it's a holiday. Then it's, and you slowly come together and you introduce this person into parts of your life. They don't become your whole world.
Yeah, he's not my whole world. I told him.
Yeah, you're not my whole world this time around. But I mean, that's something that I'm sure he loves about you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he calls me. Yeah, and like the names that we call each other, like he calls me a weirdo or a crazy lady. Just not like derogatory names.
No.
We just play around with each other. Like he tells me, oh, you guys better not be talking about me. Or I'm like, are you a narcissist? Just stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then like, if I'm looking at him, I say, what are you looking at? Like, stupid stuff like that. That's what we do. So it took, I would say, a while to get to that part.
Yep. Certainly does.
Because everyone's like serious in the beginning. And then another thing I noticed that some people want to force their SP into their lives. I didn't force him to come back into my life.
No.
So when we first, I think I mentioned in my first video, when I had asked him, when I had told him I have a birthday and a Christmas gift for you, would you like it? And he said, yeah, let's meet up. I didn't force him to do anything.
Yeah.
No. So
You were to make the offer, ask him, and see how he responded. I love that. That's very dignified. I like that dignity along the way.
Yeah, because then some people will be like, oh, well, you attracted him back and lived in the end. What if he wouldn't have come back? His loss.
Yeah, that would have been that different outcome.
Yeah, so I know what I focused on. I know, like, you know, I guess people don't understand.
Yeah.
Like, to me, because I'm still going through the same thing with my, well, this actually helped me with transferring over to my new group, which I'm still going through that. So I have to like live in the end. And it's like, I speak to the people on the other side. And when I'm on the other side, I say, this is my group. This is my supervisor, this and that. I said, if I stood like 8 months, I could stand longer, which I don't want to, but you know, because I thought that because I saw a video that Dan had, and I think also with you said you don't have to keep like manifesting each step, just live in the end.
Yeah.
So just let things happen. That's how they happen.
Yeah. Just like you did with the relationship.
Yeah. So even though I was discouraged, there was days I got mad and like, you know, stuff like that. I felt like he wasn't putting in the effort.
Yeah.
Like he didn't. And then he explained to me like after that, you know, he's always been alone. And that's why he stuck to himself, I guess. Cause I'm like, wait a minute, alone? Like since I've known you, you had like all these girlfriends, but I guess he didn't feel that somebody loved him and cared about him. He said, I'm the first one that made him feel loved and special and stuff like that. You know, and then like maybe if we're playing around, I call him a jerk. He'll call me a jerk. You know, it's just stupid stuff like that.
Yeah.
But he said this is the first time. Like I send him encouraging things. Like I might find something on the internet and like, you know, screenshot it and send something like, oh, you're special, you're this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or I love you, or, you know, just to encourage him. And, you know, if he's going through anything, just, you know, say something like that. He was like, he's never felt love like that before. And he just wanted to make sure it was genuine.
Yeah. Fair enough. And fair enough.
Yeah. You know, even though I was like, well, I knew you since high, and then he kept questioning like, why now? Why are you feeling these feelings now? I said, I don't know why. I said, back when I was young, I didn't have a good self-esteem.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't think I could get the things that I want, like, oh, get married or stuff like that. I didn't have that, you know, high self-love or whatever. Plus, I was immature. You know, I wanted to get a pot to piss in first.
Yeah.
You know, I said I didn't need a boyfriend in high school or college because, you know, I wasn't mature for that. And I should be focusing on my studies and, you know, finishing college, getting my job in my own apartment. That came first with Charlie, you know. So I've been living on my own for 11 years, you know, so that settled, and then find myself, like, see what type of guys I want. You know, I went through like, you know, different phases of what type of guys I wanted and this and that. And then I just said, you know, because we've always maintained contact. Like, you know, it was one time, like after college, we lost contact for 5 years. We got back in contact in 2006. And then, you know, we would speak, but it would be like, you know how like I would talk to you today and then I would say, okay, I'll call you back. It could happen months later. And I you know, don't know how far, you know, I have a best friend that lives in Maryland, and we don't speak that much because we're like, oh, okay, I'll call her back, and months pass and I don't want her thinking that, you know, I don't care. And then like there's another thing I have to do with that, like my relationship with her, I have to do like some meditations and stuff because I've known her for like 23 years too.
Yeah.
Feel like kind of a distance, but like again, I'm not going to force her to be in my life if she doesn't want to. So you know, so like with that, like he was just questioning why are things happening now. I said I can only speak for myself. I think it's because I wasn't mature. I didn't know what the hell I wanted. You know, I had to fix myself. You want to see, and then another thing that came to my head was like, to get the best things, you have to be at your best self.
Yeah.
So yeah, I probably liked a lot of guys and stuff like that in the past, but they weren't best for me. So of course, yeah, I questioned my feelings for him, like, oh, why do I like him? That's all coming from fear.
Yeah.
You know, even when people are about to get married, they're like, I think one person said she had diarrhea for a week after when her fiance proposed to her, and I was like,
Wow.
why?
Yeah.
Because, you know, even though I'm in love with him, he's the best guy. I don't know. I'm like, well, first of all, calm down and stop focusing on yourself. So it's like, is it that serious?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, so I just said, it's just fear. I said, if there's anything you guys need to talk about, go to a counselor. Because even me and him said, even when we get engaged, we're going to go to, like, you know, premarital counseling and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, you know, I just said, because he has a friend that does counseling, and I said, I have my pastor too. So I'm like, so we could just go there.
Yeah.
Both. I don't mind, but it takes a lot of work to maintain, because people think that, oh, you attracted your SP. No, it's not easy.
Yeah.
I'm at level 5 now.
Yeah.
Now I'm at the level where I have to protect my relationship at all costs. Protect me first.
Yeah.
Me first, then, and then the whole, because we're a unit now. We're making plans to marry. He wants to have a baby by the end of this year. I said my ring comes first.
Yeah.
So it's like we're on into that path, because last year I didn't think he wanted that.
Yeah.
Because, you know, we weren't spending that much time. He wasn't talking about marriage, even though I was fine with it. I was like, you know what, we just got back, you know, reacquainted. You know, I don't expect any marriage talk or anything. And then I didn't even ask him to introduce me to his mom, even though I met her like 10 years ago and we were just friends. He introduced me to her. He's introduced me to his family. He's mentioning me to his family.
Yeah.
I didn't claim him first. He called me, like his girlfriend and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, you know, I didn't say, because I know some people make the mistake and say, well, how come you don't say I'm this to you or that to you?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, because I remember I asked him, just for me to know, I think I asked him like in October, are we serious or stuff like that? And he was like, yeah, we're serious. I was like, oh, well, I didn't know. I said, and then I always say, people never tell me anything. I'm like, it could be a freaking tornado outside and nobody tells me anything. So I'm just like, I'm always left out of the loop. So
well, at least you asked.
Yeah. And he said, we're serious. And what else? I don't know. And then he's talking about, and then another thing that kind of scares me. I'm still scared. It's a good scared.
Yeah.
He started talking about, oh yeah, because he said he wants to buy a house for him to live in since he owns other houses. He was like, oh, you know, when we move in together and stuff, because he said he wants to buy a house this year. And I'm like, did you say us? Because, you know, I come with a cat and we're a package deal. So he was like, yeah, when we move in, I want us to have this and this and this. So I'm like, okay. And I told him, you know, are you sure? You know, because I don't want him to just like jump into anything. So I said, well, my lease is up in May, but I don't think I'm moving this year because it's already March and I got to sign my lease to stay here for another year. And I said, you know, if you don't find a house this year, that's fine. I could like, you know, just either do a month to month or
exactly.
It's like, we're just taking our time. We're taking it one day at a time. Like, I didn't want to like, even when I first attracted him back, I didn't speak to him for 3 weeks because I didn't want to. And then another cool thing that happened, I think I shared this during, I think it was last year, because I collect Barbies. I don't know if I told anybody that I've been collecting since I was 3, and I should have 500 now.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
Yeah, I have a lot. And it was a doll. I think Mattel had something where it was hero Barbies.
Yeah.
There was a movie about the Black women who helped with the NASA guys.
Yep.
So he showed me that. And it was funny because I was thinking about that doll and getting her. And he was like, oh, here's a doll that you would like. And then I was like, oh, that's cool. So I thought maybe he'll give it to me for my birthday, but he actually bought it for me for Christmas.
Lovely.
So I'm just like, I was going to buy her myself. And then it's like, and
very thoughtful, very thoughtful.
Yeah, and I remember saying it to myself, oh, wouldn't it be great if he bought that for me? I didn't say for my birthday or for whatever. He bought it for me for Christmas this past Christmas.
Yeah, nice.
So I'm like,
lovely.
And it's just been a lot of like little things like I would think and say and he would do it.
Yeah.
Also, if you say something fearful, it would happen. There was one time that scared me that he was like doubting me because I don't know if I was feeling unsure about myself. And he kind of said what I was thinking. And I was like, oh, let me readjust.
Yeah.
So it's gonna like,
yeah.
It's gonna, yeah, you're gonna revert back to yourself, but you gotta catch yourself.
You gotta catch yourself faster, yeah.
Yeah.
Martina, so I've got to go do a coaching session in 4 minutes. I just realized it's nearly 5:30.
Oh, wow. Okay. Because I think we're going to need a part 3.
I think we are too. Yeah, let's aim to do that. That was such good information. It's brilliant. And I think people will love hearing where you're up to and, you know, the journey. This is the journey of being in relationship.
Mm-hmm. And I hope some of the things they might not agree with me about or dislike me, but hey, I got to be stern and like, you know, let you know, hey, calm down.
Well, you're getting a real, this is the real account. This is you having done, you know, quite a long time on your own and going within, doing your self-love, working on you, very slowly getting to see him again, and then it becoming friends, and then it becoming a relationship, and then getting closer, and then talking about these future things. But like the turtle does win the race. The turtle wins the race.
Yeah.
It is such a great, because you can absorb and assess clearly as you go. Because I get a lot of emails where people say, oh, you know, we got together really fast.
Yeah,
that usually means we had sex straight away. That's what usually means. And as soon as you have sex and you don't talk and you don't get to know each other and you don't communicate, something blows out. It just, it's like you haven't had time to catch your breath and discuss issues or discuss what you want, what they want. You've got to talk about stuff as you go. You do.
Yeah. And then another thing I didn't do was like try to catch him, like try to chase after him. Don't do that.
Don't do that. No.
Yeah, we're gonna have to have a part 3 because
I think so. I think so too. Lovely. Well, thank you. And
thank you.
You want to say goodbye to everybody?
Bye, everybody. Hopefully my advice helped. I know you're not going to like everything I say, but I have to tell you.
Well, you can't argue with someone's experience and what someone says from there, the way that they see it. And that's that, you know? So I'm going to say bye, everybody, as well. And I will see you in the next YouTube. And I will put down below any bits and pieces that Martina and I talked about that were relevant to the interview. All right. Bye, everyone. See you in the next YouTube.